Good morning, all. I, Shraddha, Company Secretary, welcome you all at our Shirwar plant, KSB Limited. So this is for us is also a good and a unique experience. We are going to host a hybrid event for the first time with the help of ICICI team. So I'll hand over the mic to ICICI, who is hosting the event for today.
Yeah, I'm audible. Yeah. Thank you very much. And my name is Ashwini Sharma. And thank you very much, sir, for giving us the opportunity again. I think this is the fourth time in the last 18 months that we are hosting investor meeting for KSB, and we really appreciate the efforts that management is putting up. Uh, it's a again just to give you a small background on KSB. So KSB is a German group company. It's one of the leading company in India in the which has a presence in the pumps and valves division, catering to very varied group of industries like oil and gas, power, paper, then many general industries. We have a senior management, and with a great pleasure, we welcome the senior management, starting with Mr. Rajiv Jain, who is the managing director, Mr. Mahesh Bhave, Chief Financial Officer, and we have a new guest this time, Mr. Nitin Patil, VP Operations and Nuclear Head. So we invite you on the dice to give the small presentation, and after that we'll open the floor for Q&A. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for providing this opportunity. Uh, Warm welcome from the plant, Shirwal, that is Energy Pumps Division, to all the investors and investor community. Uh, Welcome to one of the best plant worldwide for pump industry, especially in engineered pump business. I'm sure during the second half you will enjoy the tour to the plant and see the state of the art factory and best in class machinery which we have here, which I am proud to say that it is one of the best worldwide in any pump industry. So I will take you through some salient features of this plant. So this plant we started in 2017. We call it as Energy Pumps Division because it mainly caters to pumps from energy, that is conventional, as well as nuclear and oil and gas, which all combined together constitutes the energy portfolio for KSB. Some of the salient features which I will take you through is the some salient features of this facility, some success stories, some major orders which we have delivered from this plant, and sustainability at EPD, because it is our business philosophy that the business what we do is a responsible business from sustaining the environment and the resources. So I will take you through that, and some CSR activities which we are doing in and around this plant, because it is our philosophy that we have to give back to society because we are using the resources locally here. This plant, as I said, was established in 2017 with an area of 100,000 square meters, which is the total area, and built up area is approximately 30,000 square meters. As I said, this is best in class, state of the art factory. We recently also got IGBC Green Factory Platinum rating for this plant as well as our new office. So we are proud that it is not easy for a manufacturing facility to get a platinum rating. Since we had from inception, from design, incorporated the elements which are required for such a rating, we could get this. The shop floor here, you will also experience during your plant walkthrough, is that is equipped with evaporative cooling system, forced air system, where it is far more comfortable for the workmen to work. Because in peak summers the temperature here go above 45, so there is a difference of 7-8 degree between the shop floor and outside temperature. So that gives a very comfort feeling to the workmen when they are working. We also have a rooftop solar here of 1000 kilowatt, which is maximum permissible for any manufacturing plant captive, that is rooftop solar. This plant is also equipped with lining facility for FGD pumps, which in past few years we have delivered. So this is a very specialized technique of lining the pump, which our people or our employees here are able to do it. And our test bed here is a digitized test bed where all the readings are taken digitized, and the customer can be shown it online as well as yeah. And we also have the mechanical seal manufacturing facility here for nuclear pumps, that is reactor coolant pumps. This we have localized as part of our localization and Make in India initiative. When you go through plants, you will also see that product-wise the bays have been designed so that the workflow is lean flow. With minimum flow, I think we get a maximum productivity. So from the design itself, it is designed that way. And all big processes or big pumps which are processed here are especially restricted in one bay. So that is the movement is more efficient. I'm also proud to say that within KSB Group, we have some quality certification. Apart from our standard ISO certification, we have something called Made by KSB, where the KSB, our headquarters people, our colleagues from headquarters audit our plants worldwide. And Chinchwad plant is the third plant worldwide and first plant outside of Europe to get a 3-star made by KSB excellence certificate. It reflects that our processes are in line with our principles, as well as they are in line with the design philosophy which a product is designed with. So it instills confidence in our customers that our processes are in line with what are they designed to be. So this is one of the, I would say, a landmark certification for us. It's the third plant after a plant in Germany and a plant in Luxembourg. We also recently inaugurated our admin or office building. We had divided our investments into phases here. So one of the last phase, I would say, from the original plan, we completed a few days back. So this building also is a unique shape with KSB logo. If you look from the top, it is designed with that philosophy. Again, as I already said, it is we got the platinum rating of global excellence. The building is also designed with maximum daylight use, conserving resources. Very high efficiency lighting fittings and sensor-based operation is put into the plant to conserve resources. And there are a lot of collaboration zones where employees can collaborate with each other. And as far as possible, natural stone, wall cladding, local resources, local produce has been used in making this office. There are some glimpses of shop floor. Different bays are shown. And our bays are also divided product-wise. So during your plant visit, you will be able to see that. Some glimpses of machinery, which we have state-of-the-art, I would say high accuracy machines, which are normally required for highly engineered pumps. So like a cylindrical grinding machine, which we recently bought. We have 5-axis HMC, then VMC, again, different kinds of VMCs, VTL, and CNC lathes. Our test bed, I am proud to say that is one of the most advanced test bed in pump industry. We can do all the tests which are required for pump industry, right from performance test up to 6 megawatt. And the infrastructure is built in such a way that in future, if the market demands, it can be increased to 10 megawatt as well. We are able to test all kinds of pumps from, I would say, 5-10 kilowatt up to 6 megawatt as of now. But whenever it comes and the requirements of market comes up, we are ready for up to 10 megawatt. And normally in general pump testing, a lot of pump, the normal tests are performance tests, NPSS tests, which we are in any way able to do it. But we are also able to do special tests like visual cavitation test, which not many pump industries have in India, hot water test and string test. So during your shop visit, you will also be able to see the setups for some string tests where all the equipment is assembled as it is going to be assembled at site or unitized at site. So you will be able to see we are able to do thermal shock test. Again, very few companies will have that. And our test bed also is equipped with a 6 megawatt VFD. So we are able to test at whatever speed range the customer wants. And from the voltage perspective, also right from low tension LT to HT, 3.3, 6.6, 11 kV, we are able to test it here. And I think COVID has also taught us to be more productive, I would say. So remote inspection also has been now introduced after COVID, where the customer, if they are not able to travel, especially overseas customer, they are able to see the test pump testing remotely. As I already said, the main segments which this plant caters to is nuclear power plant, thermal power plant, and oil and gas industry. The main products which we deliver from here are displayed here, which is this HDA, HDB, and HG is a ring section multi-stage pump, right from medium pressure to high pressure range. And then CSTC, CSTR, or CSTD are barrel type, that is double casing multi-stage pumps, again for as boiler feed as well as hydrocarbon applications. And as you are already aware, we also make pumps for FGD here, that is flue gas desulfurization, that is KWP pump. And we also do condensate extraction as well as pumps for nuclear power plant. One pump is displayed on the right side of you, that is RSR. So some success stories, I would say. As you are all aware, that thermal coal power plant business was not looking good. But however, I think KSB, being flexible, having lot of products in its basket, could grab this opportunity and cater to this segment. And this plant has is able to produce the large pumps for FGD business, which is required. FGD process mainly removes sulfur dioxide from the exhaust gas stream in coal-fired power plant. It is mandatory for all plants to have this. So we are able to deliver pumps from here. Now we are able to completely localize these pumps here, including the lining as well as all castings, forgings, etc. Some of the new products which, some of the new products which we recently introduced is, this is actually split case multi-stage pump, what we call API pump for BB3 application, and as well as extended range in vertical pump VS6, that is WKTR. All the major EPCs we are already approved. Some sample list is here, which includes Indian as well as global EPCs. We also recently received an order for safety class pumps from NPCIL, that is around 550 million rupees for vertical safety class pumps, which we recently received. Which these pumps will be made here. And the picture which you see is a picture of a reactor coolant pump being hydro tested. Some of the major orders which we delivered from here in past few years is we have delivered export order for Vietnam Power Corporation, that is Van Phong in Vietnam, CSTD pumps. And then we also delivered 8 pumps for 800 megawatt NTPC Telangana from here, and also for Hardwaganj in UP. And there are many examples of other critical pumps for LPG handling, boiler feed, then crude handling, pipeline pumps, if you see. RSD YNK in this pump, I would proudly say that this plant we 100% localize this pump as part of a development order, and we have delivered that already to NPCIL. And these some more photographs of an oil platform pumps delivered to Hira and Neelam platform and to HPCL. These are large orders which I have tried to show, and some export orders as well. As I said, sustainability at KSB is at the heart of the way we do the business. So all our plants are equipped with solar power plant. So here we have 1 megawatt solar power plant, rooftop solar, which occupies approximately 15,000 square meters. We have planted more than 1,000 trees. When we took over this land for development or making the factory, there was not a single tree in this area for the 100,000 square meters area which we acquired or we took from MIDC. But we have planted approximately more than 1,000 trees here. which saves around 18 to 20 CO2 reduction per year. This during the design of this plant itself, the topography was mapped, and we ensured that no water from inside the plant will go out. So all the water which is collected through rains, etc., is fed back to the earth. And then we also have the biogas plant here. And as I also said that since we are here and using the local resources, it's our duty to give back something to the local society also. So we also undertake a lot of CSR activities. So some of the CSR activities are shown here, like donation of an ambulance, donation to schools, donation to Satara Police Public School. We recently donated a bus, and then some donation to an NGO for chapati making machine, etc. And also the nearest village, which is Kesudi, we also keep working with them and check out what is their need. Like for example, waste collection van was recently donated. We also renovated Jila Parishad Primary School nearby and a CNC simulator lab for ITI. It is under construction, where we feel that this the pool of talent which will be developed there. It will be a easy input to us for in future whenever we need employees for our work. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Patil sir, for overview of this plant. I now request Bhavesh sir to give management presentation.
And ICICI team for arranging this again for us. And thank you all for taking all your busy time here, almost investing full day traveling from Mumbai and other places and coming here. Thank you very much and warm welcome. So I start with cautionary statement, which usually it's a mandatory statement regarding forward-looking statements from the company. So this presentation may contain certain forward-looking statement relating to the company's future business development and economic performance. Such statement may be subject to number of risk, uncertainties and other important factors such as but not limited to competitive pressures, legislative and regulatory requirements, global macroeconomic and political trends, fluctuation in currency exchange rate and general financial market conditions, delay or inability in obtaining approvals from authorities, technical developments, litigations, adverse publicity and news coverage, which could cause actual developments and results to differ materially from the statement made in this presentation. The company assumes no obligation to update, alter forward-looking statement, whether as a result of new information, future events, or otherwise. So with this mandatory statement, as usual, I will be covering the organogram of the company, KSB locations. I will be covering overview of KSB, highlights for Q3 results. We will be also discussing about the customers, the major customers, the order intake situation, financials, major investments, and ESG activities. So we start with organogram. Mr. Jain, who is present here, is a managing director of KSB Limited. And the team, if you see CFO, this is Mahesh Bhave, and Mr. Mohan Patil, who heads HRD. We have Mr. Bathena, who heads sales and marketing. We have Nitin Patil, who is again present today, who heads nuclear operation and other these three plants of pumps. Valves, it is headed by Mr. Raja, our Coimbatore factory. Quality management is headed by Mr. Philip. PMPS is headed by Mr. Sheshadri. Shraddha, who is again present here, a company secretary. Then Mr. Sunil Bapat, who heads our standard agricultural and solar business, so basically Sinnar plant. Mr. Rajesh Kulkarni, who heads Supreme Sir division, and we have Mr. Watwe, who heads the purchase division. We move ahead about the presence in India slide, and you can see here that we have 7 manufacturing locations, 4 zonal offices, 14 branch offices, and 6 service stations. We have around 200 plus authorized service centers, around 1000 plus authorized dealers in pumps, valves, and systems. We have a Bangladesh license office, and we also do business through dealers in Nepal and Bhutan. So this is the geographically coverage of the business what we have. Moving ahead, this is the energy pump division. Mr. Patil has already discussed and showed you about this plant, and you will be of course visiting this today physically. Recently, we inaugurated our new admin building where in the hands of our board of directors. The flagship plant is our IPD, which is Irrigation and Process Division, which is in Pimpri, Pune. So some of the photographs of IPD plant from inside. Supreme Sir and Central Warehouse, this is in Chinswad. We also have a training center, which we called as Excellence Center in Chinswad. And some of the photographs from inside where we have a central warehouse to store our spare parts. We have standard pump division that is in Sinnar, Nasik, which is mainly handling manufacturing of standard pumps. This is the aerial photograph, and we have inside photographs of our Sinnar factory. We have captive foundry, which is in Vambori, which is again in Maharashtra, and some of the inside photographs of the foundry. As we discussed, we have a valves factory in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, and these are the some of inside photographs of our valves factory. We also have a valves manufacturing unit that is MIL control in Cochin, Kerala. So some of the photographs of our MIL factory. KSB Tech, this is our associate company, and this is mainly handling the engineering services and IT services. And they are catering mainly to all group companies worldwide. And this unit is in Pune city near Ruby Hall. Again, recently in KSB Tech also, we have inaugurated new office in the same building in Pune city on 5th floor. So photographs of those inauguration. With this, we move ahead with the overview of applications in various sector. We start with energy. So application in energy. KSB pumps and valves ensure energy efficiency and reliability, helps to achieve optimal performance and safety in power plants. If you see the products, this is high pressure multi-stage pumps, FGD pumps, GGC and ball valves. Applications are FGD, hydrocarbon services. We also have an industrial application, so variety of indeed in the spaces of life and products covers end suction pump, process pumps, non-clock pumps, high pressure multi-stage pumps, confirming API 610, GGC and ball valves. Applications are in oil and gas, paper and pulp, thermic fluid, process application and hydrocarbon services. We are also into irrigation, where optimized product from specialist for entire water cycle. So the products covered are submersible pump set, open well monoblock pumps, mini monoblock pumps, dewatering pumps, solar products, GJC and ball valves. Applications are irrigation, farm houses, drinking water supply, etc. We are also into wastewater, where we call clean solutions, and products covered are submersible non-clog pumps, horizontal non-clog end suction pumps, GJC and ball valves. Applications covers various municipal and industrial wastewater, sewage, effluent transport and treatment, stormwater drainage, dewatering, etc. We are also into construction sector, and this is we are having a in-all solution, which represent a sound foundation. So products covered are hydropneumatic systems, firefighting pumps, listed as well as non-listed, HVAC pumps, panels for primary and secondary, and the applications are firefighting, HVAC, pressure boosting, water transport and drainage. And the Supreme Sir. So Supreme Sir is an aftermarket business what we have, which of course covers the spare part, dedicated sales management, repair and field service, modification, replacement pump, that is footprint pumps. So these are the areas covered under Supreme Sir division. With this, I move ahead to highlights for Q3. So as already mentioned by Mr. Patil, we have bagged an order 551 million INR for auxiliary pump with Nuclear Power Corporation. This is the major highlight. We also have an order acceptance of 278 million and as well as 12 million INR respectively for UP and Haryana. This is in the PM Kusum scheme for solar systems. Order intake is, of course, there is a good growth through the E2E, that is e-sales business module. There is a good growth in this order booking from this e-sales facility. Valves division recorded highest ever order intake, that is 3173 million. So these are the highlights for Q3. Top 10 customer, if you see the 23 list, more or less Thermax continues to be our customer in the energy sector. We have a few dealers here. Patil Engineering, Mega Engineering is another leading customer in petrochemicals. We have Izjek Heavy Engineering, NTPC. Rishabh is again a dealer, Rishabh Pija. Technimount SPA is into petrochemicals, KC Cottrell in energy sector, and hydraulic engineering in general industry. This is the pie chart for order intake YTD September 23 versus YTD September 22, and you can see more or less the standard business remained at, in fact, slightly grown to 43% in 23. Engineering products, this is 24%, slightly decreased. Supreme Sir 14%, and Walls, if you see, this is an increase to 19%. So more or less, I would say this the mix remain more or less same for 23. Yes, export is again a good news, a good growth story. You can see the YTD 24% growth in export. Coming to net financial position, so we are maintaining roughly around 207 crores position with nuclear as of September 23. You can see the revenue from operation. There is a continuous growth, barring the 2020, which was a COVID year. You can see the growth in 21, 14,973. Last year we closed 18,220, and September numbers you can see, which are published number 16,446. It's a continuous and good growth on revenue from operations. Similarly, for profit before tax, a good growth. You can see it from 20. It is again rising from 154 crores to 197. We closed at 240 last year. And September, you can see we already 202 crores for 9 months. So again, a good growth in profits. Top investment, Shirwal Admin Building, which probably you'll be seeing today. This is recently inaugurated, as we discussed. IT upgradation, we are doing a lot of IT upgradation in the company. And the patterns, tooling, and dies, which is again related to our plants, nuclear machine, grinding machine, which we are adding, and nuclear infrastructure for TAPP. And Mumbai office, recently we have added a new, it's expansion of the existing office. We have gone for a new office, sales office in Mumbai. A lot of ESG initiatives, energy management. You can see the electricity consumption, solar, which of course covered by Mr. Patil also, LPG and diesel consumption. So 2022 versus 23 YTM, if you see the energy intensity, which is measured in MZ oblique turnover, that is a millijoule, and you can see the improvement in the parameters. Focus areas of energy audit. So this covers transformer, pumping systems, chillers, washing machines, air compressor, DG set, lightning system, and furnace. So a lot of work is going on and into energy audits and various improvements into ESG. Solar generation, of course, which is again this plant Mr. Patil covered in this slide. So you can see the kWh number, which is on the increasing trend again. CSR activities, which Mr. Patil covered for the EPDN plan, but I'm covering at an overall company level. If you see women skill development activities, where Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, he was also there and felicitated our team. We have activities like school bus donation to Satara Police Public, which is covered. A lot of activities in training and engagement. You can see technical meet at ONGC Hazira, UP, Jain Allahabad, various seminars in various forums. And we also have our Indonesia, Jakarta, and Thailand dealer and distributor meets and various trainings with them. Exhibitions. So we continue to participate in a lot of exhibition. So recently concluded RenewX Renewable Energy India Expo, which was conducted in Greater Noida. And of course, Anutech Expo in Mumbai, where we participated. FCEI Expo in Mumbai, which happened in August 23. And we have a Bhabha Atomic Research Centers, that is BARC visit at EPD. So this team visited EPD in August 23. Again, the dealer conference continue to be. So this quarter, if you see West Zone, we added West Zone Dealer Conference. This is again conducted in August 23. So photographs of this conference. Yeah, that's all. That's all from my side, and we open the forum for question and answer.
Hello, check.
Hello, hello, hello.
Can you hear me? So first we'll take the question from the room, and then we'll move on to the virtual questions. Um, uh, if anybody would like to ask a question, we'll pass on the mic.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks for taking my question. Just one question from my side, more on the NPCL side. Last time you mentioned that in this quarter we were supposed to deliver the first pump, which will go for testing, and then it will decide the course of further deliveries as such. So if you can give some color on that line, whether the first pump has been delivered, how the test results have been, and how do we see the further delivery on the orders on the on NPCL side? That is one. And second question is, in terms of overall opportunity side, both on the primary as well as auxiliary side in NPCL orders, how do you see the opportunity? What could be the total size, and by when we can see these culminating into the tenders and awards as such? Thank you.
Uh, First, to clarify on the question on the pumps which were planned to be dispatched in the last quarter, the status is that we have dispatched one casing to the site. The second will be dispatched in a couple of weeks. The process is that once the casing is dispatched, then we have to weld the casings on the test bed there, and then the motor will be delivered and the pump will have to be tested. So we are waiting for NPCIL to finish their test bed. So there is a bit of lag there, and we expect that to be done only in the first quarter of next year. And the motors will also be delivered by then, the first quarter. And hopefully we could finish the welding of the casing by March or April, and then subsequently we'll start the testing of the first pump. So that is number one. Number two, on your questions on the inquiry pipeline or the orders pipeline, for primary and secondary, you saw that we already received the order for the auxiliary pumps in the primary cycle. That is received for the first GHAPV project, and for the turbine island or the pumps, those will be in BHEL scope, and those will be boiler feet and other auxiliary pumps, for which and the condensate pumps, for which we think the inquiry will be floated early next year. It is not yet floated, and then it will go through a process of nomination and selection by BHEL for the turbine island pumps. Per project, if I say, very difficult to quantify, but if I take pump by pump or project by project, it could be ranging. For the nuclear island, it could be somewhere between 50 to 100 crores per project, around 50 crores. And there are 10 projects like that.
Yeah, hi. So can you just talk on the opportunity on the export side?
Mhm. Yeah, export has been a good development for us. We have not shown that slide, but quarter by quarter, uh, we have increased our share of export business to the total order intake. We received some good orders for in the oil and gas segment. These projects, as you know, that we have enhanced our range in API. I think Nitin Patil showed you in our presentation the products which we have added. So today we have a better competitive situation, that we have a complete, almost complete product basket that allows us to participate. So we have received orders from some international EPCs, Technimont and others. So the order intake uh, today up to September stands more than 300 crores for the whole company. And that is a good sign if we look at year on year. Up to 9 months, it's almost 18% of our total order.
But what is driving that? Is it just the enhancement of product range? or something else? If you could just elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, primarily it is enhancement of product range. Secondly, the KSB global organization, that organization structure is such that we are more active globally in all these projects, and with KSB network of KSB companies around the globe. So we sell mainly for our standard business through the KSB companies, and for the project engineer business, we mainly do it directly with customers with the involvement of local companies. So that would be another factor. The organization support which we get globally helps us to participate more. Thirdly, I would say that our efforts to there is also one more. We are regularly getting approvals on the approved vendor list of major customers. So this is a continuous effort where we can get more inquiries and more accessible market. So this is another very important aspect where we also invite customers who visit our plants and get approve them for their business. Mm. So all these activities help, and of course, KSB being a global organization, we have a very good access to the market through our KSB network.
On the standard pumps, is the export via the KSB local entity, is that largely because of cost or anything else?
No, it is the local entities do value addition that they package the pumps. So we give them the bare shaft pumps. They may put the motor and the skid and all. So that helps to be competitive. And many countries, are focusing on made locally. So this gives them the value addition which they need to get qualified with their customers. So they buy the bare pumps and then package.
And in this order intake, any breakup that you could share between the standard and the engineered that we have? That's one. And secondly, for the standard pumps, is there any other group entity that we compete with when we are supplying, or?
Yeah, regarding the mix of standard and engineered, I would say it would be 50-50. This is something which I'm saying without checking the exact statistics, but it is should be around that. And yes, KSB has a global network in manufacturing network, so we have very well equipped networks or factories in China, in Brazil, in these countries. So these are the main factories outside Europe, China, Brazil, and India. So the group has a assigned a territory, and depending on everyone's competency in that product, so they allocate so that we have proper loading for each factory globally.
And exports are largely to which region?
Our exports are mainly to Asia, South, and Middle East, Africa.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we first of all we have a defined territory rule, a global supply chain matrix we call it. So whichever products we can export to which regions, and but that is just as a guideline. There are market segment leaders who, depending on the customer choice preference, and they can and seeing the competitive situation, then they involve the KSB different factories for providing the products. So, for example, there is a project coming from Middle East, and they know who are the approved vendors on the vendor list, and if there are Indian vendors, then the global team definitely gives the inquiry to KSB India, and then we participate in that bid. It is not the German factory which participate. So such team are assigned in that regions who decide what is the optimum place to give the inquiry. Yeah, as I said, basically there is a defined territory. There is a defined territory. no questions asked, we can do that without asking anybody. We can do the exports, which are depending on the product. It is not. It is based on the product. As I said, each factory has a product competence, and some products are made only in China factory. Some are made only in India. There may be overlapping products also where they define it. So there is no defined territory as such, depending on the product. For example, a lot of our products are allowed to be exported to Asia South. The Asia South means Singapore, Vietnam, and all those countries. And for API products, where good acceptance of Indian products are there, we can export also to Middle East Africa. If I give you a very generic answer, but specifically product-wise, these are defined. But these can be overruled or this can be extended based on the market segments, possibility and opportunities they see. Yes, most of it. If I would from a group perspective, then the maximum range is available in India, and I would say that next would be Brazil. These are the two companies who have the range, but India with the BB3 pumps now and the BB4, no VS4 and VS6, we have a comprehensive range, and as you know that we took over the BP and CL acquisition also, which gave us some missing pockets of product like BB1 also. So I would say in the group, KSB India has the very comprehensive, complete range.
Your projects business as a percentage of mix went up, your margins went to 18%. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think currently that number stands at 26% in terms of the order book, the projects business that you have. Where do you see that going by FY26 if the cycle is turning?
Yeah, I think you should have looked the figures in totality. When you mentioned 2004, 2008, the company was stagnant, and those area we did not grow, and we did maybe selective business in particular things. And 18% what you mentioned was only one particular year. It was not throughout the years. So your figures need to be correct in that perspective. Our focus growth in the future trend would be mainly in standard business and aftermarket business. These are our two future strategic business. Project business would be in areas which would be our strength and where we could have a good margin level, where we would be able to compete on our strengths and achieve good margin levels, I would say. So as a product mix, I would not see this project business going far ahead. It could hover around 30% of the total portfolio, but we would focus more a lot on standard business and supreme serve business, which is our core. And some part of valve business is also project business. So if you count that, it would be a little bit higher. But I would say this would be the mix. NPCL is out.
Sure, thanks.
And sir, regarding the export, are you also seeing any trend where there is a relocation of exports from China to your territory, or the thinking of the global group to have more factories in India?
Yeah, this is more relevant in the supply chain as we see it. Definitely, we see a lot of activities in locating vendors, castings, and vendor chain. And this is happening, and this helps us also that if the supply chain is in India, us to bring the new products faster in the market. So that definitely is there. On the I would say on the product side, on the sales revenue side, we, as I mentioned earlier, this is balanced by the groups seeing that all the loading of all the plants is done and finding an optimal solution in the sense knowing the market acceptance, price level. So there, I think it is more of market dynamics which decide the plant at which we can do that.
So, could you break the export between product and the components for the spares and all?
components components would be a small percentage, since there is a trend globally also to increase the local content. So India offers the possibility with our foundry and local supply chain to supply components to supply SKD, and as well as part assembly. So that is, if you ask me, at present that would be not more than 10% of our total exports. Again, I make a very general figure. And spare parts, of course, is good. It can be improved, but if we talk pure of components, and this would be around 10%.
So balance is 90% is products of the export.
Yeah, 90% would be product plus spares.
So if I get it right, the component portion would be growing faster than the product side. That is how.
No, the product side, the component side is internal selling to KSBs. You know? It is not growing fast because it requires a lot of competence to be built up in the local KSB companies, infrastructure to be set up, assembly, testing, approvals. So that is just started. For example, in Saudi Arabia, we are starting that. So plus the supply chain also ensures that we have the foundries in different locations and regions to insulate the risks which are there.
Second, on the six segments that you cater to: energy, industry, irrigation, wastewater. You could give some color that in last 2 to 3 years, which have grown better, and where it has been subdued, and if there is any change in the outlook from here onwards.
Yeah, it's very difficult to answer this question because we as KSB are focusing on all these segments. Yeah, and that is, and I always say that has been our strength. That if one segment is going down, then the other helps us out. So, if you ask me, for example, our strength always has been general industry, and due to distilleries, the investments coming in those plants, we were able to have a very healthy growth in the general industry. If we look at water, wastewater, this is also a segment which is always offering a lot of opportunities and investments. So there also we grow from a small share, and we are almost going up to 100 crores in that business as well. A segment which offers a good possibility for us is in the future is building segment, where we mentioned that we are bringing in firefighting pump sets. We are the portfolio. We have the KSB range of smart products, IE5 motors, and systems. So this is one segment which we are looking forward to. In water segment, I did not mention is about solar. Solar is some segment specifically for irrigation, which will offer a good potential for growth. And these are the segments. Of course, Supreme Serve business is somewhere we are continuously focusing on to improve our share of that business in our total, and valves. And the project business, energy business, and the petrochemical business, this is of course very much market driven, depending on the situation at that time. So there we focus based on the market situation.
Just one last question on the margin side. Last quarter, you had mentioned that with the stabilization of the commodity prices, we could expect an improvement. Together with your comment on the standard product and Supreme Serve, if you could give some understanding that next 2-3 years, how the margins should behave.
Yeah, margins with the stability in the commodity prices this whole year, and it continues. This gives us a good chance and possibility to keep our margins at a good level, which they are at present. The challenge is in the project business, and this has to partly affected us in some low margin project orders, but that we have compensated with our standard business and aftermarket business. So going forward, that's why I said our focus is always on standard business, our Supreme Serve business, and also importantly is the valve business. This year, if you ask me, our valve business has been the most successful in ensuring the margins are at a very, very good level because of a lot of internal efficiency improvements. And this unit in Coimbatore will continue to have those good margins in the future. And if we start doing NPCIL sales next year, that should also help in our good margins.
Thanks for the opportunity, sir. Can you, sir, speak about Vande Bharat project? Like, what's the opportunity size? Has the revenue? Are we deriving any revenue from Vande Bharat right now? And what's the cost of one pump per? I mean, per cost pump. If you can share those details, would be very helpful.
Yeah, I'll not be able to share the cost of one pump. That would leak out our prices. Uh, but uh, but I can assure you that we are on a good way. Siemens, who have got a big order for these locomotives, they have qualified us as the supplier for those pumps in these locomotives for the cooling of their traction system. And that first prototype order is being delivered with a long-term contract. And this helps that all the orders or the order which Siemens has got, we would be in a very favorable situation to supply for all those locomotives. KSB Germany was a regular supplier to these locomotive suppliers, whether it is Alstom, Bombardier, and ABB, and all these customers. But the market trend moved that these pumps were being ordered in India or started getting ordered in India. And so this pump Eta Seco, we got the technology from KSB group and we made the first prototype and we released it. And the first prototype also for Siemens is released after testing in Germany. So that gives a good confidence that for all these international players, for their global market, we have a very good situation. Not only for the Indian market, but also for the global situation. The size and these things would depend, but it would be a sizable sum. It would be a sizable sum. You are aware of the investment in the locomotive segments which is happening. So we would be in a good situation to get a handsome market share here, I would say. So I would not be able to quantify exactly, but it would be a sizable sum.
And any comment on the margins?
Margins would be good because
above average.
Above average because these are standard products. And when you have USP that the good multinationals are qualifying you in this process, so they pay for that quality as well. So I would say the margins would be fair, more than our.
And second question is a follow up on margins. Like earlier we used to enjoy 47% of the gross margin. Currently they are around 43-44% range. So can we go back to 47%? Your comments on that? Since you mentioned that the raw material position is now stable.
True, true. I think our aim is to go to that levels. It is always a mix of engineered business and standard business. We can't ignore the engineered business because that becomes the aftermarket business in future years. For example, FGD. Now we have taken FGD orders at low margins because we know that if we get our install base and footprints, it may not help us in this year or next year, but in years to come, it will help us in the good margins. So it's always a balance of these things. But what you say is achievable and is our aim to go back to those levels because that is achievable by our company with the product mix and the market coverage we have and also the export business which we have. So export business, aftermarket business, standard business are good margins. Plus valve business, I mentioned that it has already grown into a double-digit profitability, which for many years was hovering less than 5%. And to add it above all, if we start delivering nuclear pump sets in the future years, it is definitely possible to those margins.
And your comments on the receivables, post we, supply the NPCIL order. So what time should it take for the receivables from NPCIL?
Fortunately, the payment conditions with NPCIL is based on milestone payments. So there is, otherwise, if you see the projects in oil and gas, those have long retention periods. Majority of the payment is post supply. So those are very unfavorable payment conditions compared to new NPCIL. We get almost 35 to 40% before our dispatch, and immediately after dispatch, we get the remaining. And some few 5% or something is retention. So we don't see that as a major issue. With NPCL, they have been fair based on the progress we make. They have been paying fairly for.
And last question, how many FGD pumps have we supplied so far?
150, 250,
250
almost
pumps.
250 we have supplied, and I think we have a backlog of almost 100 more something. So now it is a bit slowed down, but it's good that we have supplied so that customers can commission it and we can start looking at the parts business.
Thanks for answering my questions.
Hi. So just a question on the Siemens order. Do you have any idea what would your market share be in product we would be catering in the Siemens order for Vande Bharat? How many other vendors have they approved?
I'm not sure, but today, as far as I know, we are the only ones who have been approved. But I would not be able to 100% confirm that. We'll have to check that. But it could be from a normal business perspective, they will at least approve 2 vendors, and so our share should be good, I would say.
And B, just to follow up on another question, do we have any inclination from like the parent company where they are saying, okay, that India is obviously more cost competitive? Are they like specifying like they want to focus more on India, asking other factories like to slow down, or is it that they have to keep everyone happy in different regions? So
Yeah, you have answered that question.
it's
I
the
think
second part.
they have to keep everyone happy and loaded, and that's what I mentioned.
Yeah.
So because they have plants all over the globe, and but having said that, I think they also look at the market opportunity. As I said, we have a market segment organization, and we can make deviations depending on a project to project. When I talk of project business, but on standard business, it's clearly defined, and we follow that matrix. Unless we can make a case, for example, if we want to export submersible pumps to Africa, and so we have to justify with the kind of price levels and the competition, and then it is open for us to export also. So these are based going through a proper process of assessing these things.
Sure. And so lastly, I know it's a little tricky question, but in terms of now we're in an upcycle in some sense, what could be our peak asset turns on our gross block?
Peak
asset turns. I know it's a little tough to because it's a product based, but is there any like peak asset turns we could do on our gross block?
Turn to the gross block.
Yeah.
I mean to the turnover, you're saying. So if you see, our net block is around roughly around 350 crores, right? And the turnover, if you see around 2000, so that is the ratio. So it will continue, because if you see the investment, every year we are planning around 70 to 80 crores. That is the investment plan, which will continue actually, roughly 80 to 100 crores per annum.
We are investing almost 80 to 100 crores every year, and till today, I would say our return on investment ROIC is almost 20% plus as well. So that is our returns, and we will continue that investments. You see that capacity enhancement is also one of our key aspects.
And last one in FGD, for example, what could be like our steady state like AMC kind of revenue for post after that every year?
Yeah, it depends on how fast these plants are commissioned.
Okay.
But I would say pure FGD business, it can be ranging from 25 to 50 crores per annum. But again, this revenue may be value-wise small, but the margins would be quite good in that.
So this is just the O&M part in some sense.
Just the one.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much.
Hi, sir. Just a question on the standard pumps. So you mentioned that standard pumps are going to be a growth driver going ahead. So just to understand, what would be the growth drivers? Will it be new product that you'll be launching, or is it distribution, reach, expansion? Uh, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, both of them. Expansion of our product range, bringing in smart products, more energy efficient products, completing the product basket. Uh, when I say and one is energy efficient product, self-made. One is, for example, if I say energy efficient submersible pumps, we today KSB is leading supplier for 4-star and 5-star ratings, and we want to continue to bring more 4-star and 5-star products in our submersible product range. So bringing in for building segment IE5 motors and pump drive systems. So this will be one opportunity forward, and then also bringing in a lot of labeled products where we close the product gaps and continue to expand into new products. We mentioned that railways and other segments, LSA, food and beverage segment, Navy defense segment. So these are segments which we will be adding products. So it's going into new segments, uh, uh, firefighting and all the segments, bringing in new products. And the advantage with KSB is with our dealer strength of almost 800 plus. You bring any product or you bring any, go into segment, the dealer network is already there. And it helps to expand the dealer network because once you bring product for more segments, then you can attract more dealers, good dealers for you.
Got it, sir. So just a clarification on the dealer network. You said 800 to 900 you have right now. Is it like fully matured right now in terms of your reach, or there is further scope to add more dealers?
There's a lot of scope to add, because specifically for the agri and domestic market, today a dealer may cater to 3, 4, 5 districts in a state, or maybe sometimes 10 districts. So there's always a room for optimization, that you can have more dealers handling in that particular districts or a lower or a smaller number of districts, which would help us a good market coverage.
Any numbers on how many dealers you can reach? I mean, going ahead, how many dealers you can add per year or rough?
But I would not put too much emphasis on that. We look for quality dealers. In our dealer category, we have this category A, B, C, D. So if I can make it 1,500 or 2,000 with C or D dealers, but that would not help us. So I would rather focus on quality dealers, A category dealers more, who would be more financially sound and the coverage would be better.
So just one last follow-up question. What is the working capital cycle on the standard pump side in terms of the receivable days and the inventory days?
How much? 110, 100, around 100.
The cycle is less compared to project business, so it's around 100, 3 months plus.
Got it. Thank you. Thanks for answering.
Yeah, thank you. So just a follow-up on that is, if you can give us the differential in working capital between standard and engineered, and export and domestic sales, if any difference?
Yeah, I wouldn't have the statistics ready-made, but working capital is around, overall for the company is around 30%. And of course, for engineered pumps, it is more than the standard business, definitely. So the receivables, the inventories would be higher. It would be similar because we also do have go downs and do that. But
as we discussed, standard business, it is on lesser side, and project business we carry receivable mainly. This is carried in the project business majority.
And what would the EBITDA margin differential be between standard and engineered and export and domestic?
Definitely standard would be more, and we actually do the EBITDA margin plant wise. When we segregate it, We have 6 different plants and we do it different plant wise. So that definitely shows that the EBITDA margin in our Sinnar plant and Val plant is higher than these project plants. So this is a general guideline, I would say. Then and means in a plant like a standard business, it would be 15% plus, for example, and project businesses could be 10 or 11%.
And so export and domestic?
Export and domestic would also be similar. Differential would be 2 points, I would say, between exports and domestic.
With export being higher?
Export would be higher.
So, thank
Uh,
So what is the current order book, including nuclear order?
Current order book, including nuclear, would be around 2,200 crores.
And if we exclude the nuclear,
1,200.
1,000 crores still pending. Okay. If you could talk about, opportunities in the oil and gas. We have been hearing, some slowdown in the sector. So since it's a part of our engineer pumps, if we can talk about what kind of, what is the outlook that we are seeing on the oil and gas side?
Yeah, difficult to say in oil and gas because it's very fluctuating or very, it's not steady. Today, if you ask me, today domestic market is a bit slow down. There are projects like CPCL and others which are now getting up, but I would say the opportunities are a lot more on export side today, and we would like to focus on that. For example, the Mongolia refinery, where India is doing that. A lot of projects which are there in the Middle East, which are awarded from ADNOC or Aramco's. So those all projects are much more. We are looking forward for that. We are trying to get ourselves enlisted on all these big customers. So I would say the outlook is good for exports because general acceptance from these customers is good for Indian product. We have a comprehensive range and we have a very good sales organization in front. So I would say we are more looking forward for the export. The domestic market is very crowded. The competition is very high. There are 4 or 5 manufacturers who are present in the domestic market, and this makes a lot of pressure on prices. So I would say export market would be our outlook.
So some more inputs from your side on the nuclear opportunity. So we already have 2 orders. Uh, how is the other orders are moving? How the tender pipeline in this this side? Is the government really serious about executing or bringing up large capacity in the nuclear, which can actually benefit eventually us? So what is your assessment on that?
Yeah, if you ask me, I think government is definitely serious. The investment is there. The There is no kind of major hurdles there. It's only due to the inherent process of this business that it goes very slow. huh? And this, I think, NPCL also acknowledges that the progress. I'm sure if you ask their management, they would also agree that there could be a lot done to improve the speed of those projects. But having said that, again, I would say a lot of factors are there where, for example, it starts with the ground uh, availability or earmarking the ground, then the suitability, and all those stringent tests have to go through. And you know the outcome only once you finish those tests. So one can't always say or blame NPCL, but it is also due to the external circumstances which affect that things. Uh, there is a there is a trend in NPCL that they want to kind of offer EPC packages, want to speed up these things, and that's why they have given uh, BHEL this first job of the turbine island, and the on the on the nuclear island, I think they are evaluating also for the piping and every package to also give it out to an EPC basis. So there are initiatives to speed up the process. But I would say in general, these orders come with a lead time of almost 2 to 3 years. All these orders are 3 years minimum because of the quality processes, because of the vendors, selected vendors. So in our normal business, I would say 1 year would be the maximum for our normal business, which would be the time. And the delivery time of nuclear orders is minimum 2 to 3 times.
And next year, what kind of revenue do you see from nuclear order?
Yeah, if everything goes well, maybe around 100 crores.
100 crores in CY 24, and after that,
After that, if once that the first 1 and 2 pumps go, then it will be much faster. Then it could be doubling in those years after that, at least double.
so 100, then 200 to 50 crore kind of revenue we can
Yes.
build.
It's the first, the pump gets tested, approved, that the first pump has to run 500 hours, get that tested, then the second pump, and then all the pumps are identical. So then those first hurdles are gone, then definitely I would say 25 onwards, it would be much faster or at least double.
Yeah, those were my questions. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, in terms of our capital allocation policy, so let's say if you make 100 rupees of cash flow from operation, how much would go for dividend, capex, and retention? And if there are any plans of inorganic, if at all.
And you must have seen that we maintain, a particular percentage of our profit after tax, and that is how it is generally maintained. But it depends on the respective approvals and regulations. Um, Otherwise, else everything goes into mainly the business and expansion, as we discussed, around 80 to 100 crores for the investment. That is how it has been allocated, and rest with the working capital.
Right. Thanks.
So, what will be the level of independence enjoyed by the Indian entity as compared to the group entity?
How do you define that independent?
Like the choice of products that you want to supply and the level of market, plus need dependence on for capex or the kind of products that you want to develop.
Yeah, we have internal procedures that there are levels of authority and approvals. So if let's say we want to have a product for the Indian market, our experience is that almost every time we get the approvals based on our business plan. So there is never a I would say a hurdle or a resistance or anything of that sort. For the Indian market, we get that 100% support. And capex investments and all those, of course, go through the normal board approval, Indian board approval, German board approval process. But as I said, there's never been such a big issue because everybody understands the potential the Indian market offers, and all this growth which you see and this investment which you see has been fully supported by the German board as well as the Indian board.
And a follow up would be that what role does Pahadpur family and ThyssenKrupp investment play at the board level or help the management person?
I think they are board members, and the normal uh, ThyssenKrupp has no board member in our. ThyssenKrupp is not represented in our board, but Pahadpur, Mr. Sarup is our chairman, and so all the board related issues are discussed according to the board resolutions. Day-to-day management is done by KSB, and all the board related issues is involving all the board members.
Just a second, my last question rather. What percentage of end consumer capex is towards pumps?
End user capex towards pump in a typical project it could be 3 to 4%, 3 to 4%. These are very general answers. it could vary from project to project. It's a type of product. I just give you a rough idea.
Sir, hello. Sir, we mentioned about Kusum in one of our slides that we had got few projects. Kusum, how big do we see? Do we see some states doing well? How is the competition intensity is also fairly high there? So how are the margins? How are the products and how is the ordering moving overall on Kusum?
You saw in our presentation, we got one LOI of almost 30 crores. 30 crores was our order. And this is just a letter of acceptance. The process for Kusum is once you get there, then we have to visit those states, the farmers get their acceptance, and then the ordering happens. So that process is ongoing, but it's good that this market, the solar market, has moved quite well for us compared to what we were a couple of years back. And the progress is quite good that we have qualified on the PM Kusum Yojana. We have qualified as a system supplier, and we have already been awarded in 2 states, and we have participated in 13 states, and we are further expecting much more success or orders in other states as well. And so it's a good opportunity for us that KSB with their products brand image has got a fast acceptance, and we should be start supplying complete system. The pump and the motors we have been supplying for quite some time, but the complete system I think we should be supplying from early next year, and there is quite good optimistic hope that we can get quite a sizable number of system orders in the next 2 to 3 years. The margins are reasonably okay, quite good, even though the bought out portion or the non-manufactured portion is quite high. We make the pump and the motors, and the other items like controllers, panels, and installation is done by others. But in spite of that, we are able to maintain a reasonable good margin, I would say. Yeah, that's a possibility. The market is huge, and so that is definitely a possibility.
Partners, multiple authorities on the state level, central level.
True. Those we have to manage properly our project management so that we can ensure that that is not affected to that extent. That is that is on our evaluation as well, and we are creating proper team infrastructure in our Sinnar plant so that we monitor this regularly.
We'll now move to the questions from the virtual audience. First question is from the line of Ravi Purohit. Ravi, please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking my questions. So I have three questions. One is, I think lately we've seen a lot of thermal capex being announced in the country, and we used to be very strong in boiler feed pumps back in the day, maybe in 2007, 8, when
VC?
the
No.
thermal power
Hello?
capacity expansion.
Mr.
Yeah,
Ravi from VC participants, you may please ask your question.
yeah. Am I audible? Hello, hello.
Speaker charge.
Yeah, hello.
Is on.
Am I audible? Hello, hello. Am I audible?
Just give us a second. We're trying to resolve the issue.
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, yes. Please
Okay.
continue.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. So my questions were, I had three questions. First one being, there is a lot of traction in thermal capex. And we were pretty strong in boiler feed pumps and had a pretty strong portfolio back in the day in 2007, 8. So do we think that we could be getting some of the orders back in this round of capex that is being announced on boiler feed pumps? And of course, with these thermal capexes, I'm presuming the FGD pump order will also be placed for the newer plants. So if you could just throw some light on that. My second question is on this export business that you had mentioned, and particularly you mentioned about this Mongol refinery. I think Mega Engineering has probably won the order for them, and totally I think they're doing about $1 billion worth of orders in Mongol refinery and the area. So, and when you said 3 to 4% is the pump requirement, is it a fair assumption to make the 30 to 40 million dollars is the potential size that you're looking from a typical size of these kind of projects? And third question is, sir, on recently our parent KSB AG had a capital markets day, and in that presentation of September 23, they had mentioned that they are pretty strong in hydrogen as well, and they received more than $22 million, 22 million euros worth of orders already in this. So and there is a lot of capex that is being happening right now. And there are talks in India itself also, right, on a lot of capex on hydrogen. So does KSB India, KSB Limited in India have those technology or the products profile already with us, and are we kind of looking at that opportunity? So those were my three questions.
If I first question, hello. The first question, it's still having an echo. No, maybe that microphone you'll have to. Hello. No, that is not the. Unmute that and go to settings. This micro. Hello. Yeah. Can Mr. Purohit listen? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I
If
can.
just is raising his hand.
I can, sir.
He can type, Mr. Purohit, if you can type, if you can hear me, because these answers are for you. Okay, good. The first you said thermal power plants. You see the supercritical 660, 800 megawatts. Those projects have drastically reduced. We supplied pumps, boiler feed pumps, and other plant from this plant for this Tanda and Telangana and Ghatampur. Not Ghatampur. We supplied the CEP cargo. So those all projects have been in the coming time. Those projects have drastically reduced, and those projects, even the EPCs have reduced. Now you have only BHEL and L&T who are participating there, and BHEL has been quite successful, who have their own pumps. So for the pumps for the supercritical, we are not very optimistic. Neither we are making our strategy on that. But whatever projects are received by the private EPCs like L&T or anybody, that we will participate. Many. And the normal smaller boiler feed pumps which go to captive waste and so those are done by OEMs like Thermax and Isdex, and we have a very good share there, more than 70%, I would say, for those pumps. In fact, if you look at our mid-size boiler feed pumps, HDA, HD pumps, we almost have more than 400 pumps orders this year as well as last year, which is slowing down a bit now. But that we count it as our daily bread and butter business. These were not project business. The real project business I already mentioned that those is few now, and we compensated that by FGD business and nuclear business. The second question was on. I'll come to the green hydrogen one. The hydrogen aspect, it's right. It's good to hear that you could also, or you have kept a track of the KSB SE investor meet, and it's true that KSB is one of the leading suppliers to this segment for green hydrogen and the electrolyzer market. And with the success of KSB Group, the same products are available in India, and we see a lot of our activity starting. The market is not yet mature as what we see in the European countries, but we already have around 2 to 3 crores for our pumps, supplying to electrolyzer manufacturers who are setting up base or who are collaborating with L&T, with Reliance, and all those companies. So we have made a start there. We have a inquiry pipeline of much bigger inquiries. So as the market matures, as the inquiries bank increases, I think our share will be very good. And as I mentioned, we have the products not only for green hydrogen, I would say wind energy also. We have bagged one or two orders, and in fact, KSB supplied pumps for 12 megawatt big windmill energy plant, and we have been supplying for smaller ones, but we are creating references globally, and this will help India, KSB India also, to go into international customers as well as local customers based on the references and experience of KSB Group. The second question, if you can repeat, Mongolia.
So this was on the Mongol refinery.
Our potential is high, and you must have seen in our slide that Mega Engineering was one of our top 10 customers. We have been quite successful with them. I also presume that they are happy with our order execution and the way we are executing those orders. And I believe that they would definitely give us a fair share of this business. And we, KSB, have also a strength that with our global organization, we have access to our KSB Mongolia local representatives. So giving a comfort to the end user with our local support as well. So yes, that is one of our good target projects for the future.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir. All the best.
Yeah, Mr. Sriram, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
please
just
go
have
ahead.
one. Yeah, I just have one question. Within your standard pumps, how much would be the industrial pumps? Can you give the value for the last year and for the 9 month ended September?
Value for industrial pumps in?
CY 23 and for the 9 month ended September 23. So CY 22 and September 23.
Industrial business is almost 300. General
Sir,
industry
sorry, you're not
business.
audible. Hello.
General industry business, what we have as a part of our standard business is almost 300 crores.
And any change this year compared to last year? Hello.
You can put it in the chat box. Yes, we are growing there around 15 to 20%. General industry includes sugar, pulp and paper, distillery, and such industries, heating systems. So our growth in that segment has been quite good, and I mentioned it earlier. Distillery has helped that with the investments and the new plants coming up. So I would say it's almost been a 20% growth in that segment.
To that extent, we can claim higher business then.
Here, here. So we have it here. We have it here.
Yeah, I think
Our
our
silver plant is at the highest level now. Other plants are at different stars, but there is a potential there. But I think we will reach there. All other plants also.
The 3 star is the highest rating.
Yes.
And as he mentioned, only 3 plants were I have approved. Other plants are, so we have scope for improvement. Yeah, that is very, again, difficult to quantify. It is gives us more opportunities. And opportunities, it's not only business, I would say, it also is other internal efficiency improvements in terms of failure costs, on-time deliveries, and all these factors help us in our cost optimization, plus access to the business export markets. It would help us to give that. Difficult to quantify how much it would be, but it gives us a good base. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of export business, especially project business, even internal, depends on the plant approval. And this is a nature of our business that customers would like to our plant apart from the product, and they come and see the process. So once you get a 3 star, customer is ex, uh, export or foreign customer, he already comfort feeling that we are 3 star, and so the approval process becomes very easy of international customers. So I would say that would be the major takeaway. If once we have that 3 star, then we would be on a lot of international customers approved list. And this always this talk of country of origin then would vanish based on these.
Payments and shared services payments to the parent, and in what period they are decided. Once they are, let's say, fixed currently, when is the next review, and after that review, for how many years that stands?
So royalty payments, that depends on the product wise license agreement what we have with the parents. So it depends on agreement to agreement, product wise.
Percentage of sales.
Around 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. Yeah, roughly overall.
Services payment that you make to the parent, apart from royalty, shared services, or some other technology service if you avail.
No, those are
IT services, whatever parent supports us. So those are IT related and technical support related payments what we make.
22.
So by 22 again, that would be maybe roughly around 1.9 million euro or roughly around 2 million euro total. Yeah.
Together.
Both put together, 2.5% of sales.
Yeah.
And broadly, it will remain there.
That is something which has to be discussed. It's today both the royalty
Plus service charges, shared service charges, plus ITs, technical support, all these constitute the whatever we call related party transactions. So today that approximately it is 2.5. But as time goes on, it depends on the scope of services we receive. You see, the group has global IT services, and if we participate more, then those get affected. The royalties depend on the product licenses which we take. And as we take more and more products, the share has to change. So it's a bit of, it's not a fixed thing. It depends on the kind of services we take and the product the licenses we take.
Related, etc., can be at a higher royalty?
No, generally those royalties are fixed. Those royalties are not changed. And if you talk about electrolyzer, those are basically standard pumps. Those are not big pumps. Unfortunately, those are the this, but pumps may not from our range. He's muted.
Hello? Hello? Mr. Mahesh Bendre?
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, 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 yes.
Sir, is it possible to share 9 month revenue segments, revenue distribution from standard pumps, services business, export, and so on 9 month basis?
Revenue business. Segment wise.
It would be more or less the similar percentage of standard being around 45%, engineered around 26, valves around 19, and Supremes have around 15%. This would be the broad difference. It changes 1 or 2, 3% here and there, but this would be broadly the distribution.
Sure. And sir, without the contribution of nuclear business, still we have grown 29,
Can we
27%.
confirm if we have any further queue from the participants?
Hello.
Yes.
Yep.
Last question from VC participants. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's raised his hand again.
Yes, Mr. Mahesh. Yes, Mr. Mahesh.
Yeah, sir. Without the contribution from nuclear business, we have reported a very healthy growth of around 25% in last 9 months compared to last year. So this performance, so what is the reason behind this kind of such a strong growth?
You mentioned nuclear business?
Yeah, without contribution from nuclear business, still we have grown very substantially in last 9 months.
Yeah, if I can. This growth has come again in across all the plants, including valves, and this I said is in all segments. Whether it is industrial, whether it is building, wastewater, energy, and somewhat of petrochemical. So this 25% or more than 25% growth in the first 9 months is across all the segments. And that's why if you see compared to last year and this year, the share of the mix of the business remains approximately the same. And I would not be able to single out any particular thing, but yeah, last year FGD was good. This year also FGD has been good. And the industry I mentioned because of distilleries has been a good segment. Also in the petrochemical sector, based on oil and gas products, it both IPD, Pimpri plant and Shirwal plant. So to answer your question, I would say it is across all segments where we are participating, and this compared to last year. Going in future, I mentioned there are some segments like solar. Another is mechanical.
but these come up maybe in the next years to come. But so far, the product mix and the segment mix remains approximately same with plus minus 2 or 3%.
So thank you so much. Thank you.
Question, do pumps, it's relatively high. Do pumps with, yes, definitely. I think pumps with IE4 and IE5. Today the realization for us when I guess is not so high because these we are importing it from our overseas group companies. Once we localize it and make it, maybe the realization would be better. But definitely there is a good market and acceptance for such high specification motors, and we buy these motors from our Italian plant. Profitable, correct, by realization. I mentioned that. I mentioned that opportunities are increasing, more and more inquiries, and KSB has the complete product portfolio for this market, electrolyzer market, and all this comes to. No, 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 not for. We are not present in that segment. This is mm, as a turbine and as no, we are in that segment. It's yeah, there are few players. It's a different technology, but we have not participated in that as pump, as a turbine, or as a storage. Yeah, it's a question I would be happy if I could answer that because yes, the traction is there. We are being informed that the inquiry should be out in couple of months, but I guess that all depends on the progress at each site and the plant's progress. They try to optimize it with the actual progress in the site. For example, the GHPV project is fixed. If that gets delayed, then that affects the future planning as well. And
KSB companies, group company sales directly in India? Is it a large market?
hardly anything.
Is there anything about the import of the pumps we as a country do we did in CY22 or FY23?
Sorry,
And as a country, do we import pumps still?
import very specialized pumps, very special, but our import is very less. It would be for KSB, be less than 3% or less than hardly anything. We only take some pumps which we don't manufacture ourselves, uh, and we import sometimes components also from our plants.
My last question is what do you think about the pricing of the current custom scheme and why it did not succeed last time and the offtake was very poor last time, last tender. Do you think that the offtake will increase materially in this particular tender?
Yeah, I think after the price revision which has been accepted, there is much more interest from the suppliers. And yes, price was one of the main reasons why it was not moving. But after the rate revision, I see quite a bit of interest amongst all the suppliers. And we also find it fair enough to work in this segment.
Thank you.
maybe before just you start, I would like to thank you all to for all of you to travel to this wonderful plant. It's our showcase, uh, and we always say that even in all the German visitors who come, they are very impressed. That they are impressed and a bit jealous also. I would say that we have such a great plant here, and in fact we had them last 2 weeks back also. So I thank you all. I think it will give you an insight into what we always talk. And when you visit the plant, you will see all those nice machines, the facilities, and why we claim that this is one of the typical strengths of KSB, that we outsource very less. All these high tech things and technology things we try to inbuilt ourselves. And these machines, which we will show you, not many or hardly there in India. It would be easy to do this business by outsourcing, but we have never followed that path. And we have our own foundry, and we believe in the quality for high engineered business, doing it ourselves. And this factory visit will help you to understand that philosophy which we work on. Thank you.
Yeah, so that brings us to the today's interesting session. Thank you very much, KSB management, for again, giving us the opportunity, and a big thanks again to the investors, to take out the time and make it success. One announcement. So we'll take 10 minutes break, and then we'll have a lunch, and after that we'll go for the plant visit. Yeah. Thank you.